Right, so we're now moving to Maria Binetti. She's from Argentina. Maria is a researcher in feminist philosophy, and she is the Women's Human Rights Country Contact for Argentina. So over to you, Maria.
I'm going to start pointing out some ideas that connect surrogacy and gender identity and sexual work with the main ideology that cover all that, which is I call postmodern queer ideology. I call it a postmodern queer ideology because it's postmodernity applied to a topic which is sex or bodies. So the main principle of this ideology is that sex and body and also motherhood and also maternal body and also pregnancy is a social construction. It's a social constructivism. Everything is a construction, a social construction. Everything is a discursive fiction. So also motherhood. That means that motherhood is a kind of raw material to construct and deconstruct and recombine parts as you want. And this implies a moral, social and moral relativism. Everything is the same. And it's important to know that this ideology does not believe in universal human rights. They don't believe in universality because universality is a kind of narrative that serves colonialism and imperialism and all that. So they use the level of human rights and universality to empty and relativize the human rights, the universality that human rights implies. The point for them is a subjectivist or individualism. The only reality is the individual, and an individual that is fragmented and more and more fragmenting anytime. So under the individual freedom, they support the two main values, which is individual consent and contract. That is the supreme court of this sort of individualism. And now also subjective identities. That is a saint value for them. However, behind this social constructivism, there is a hidden biologicism. What I mean by biologicism is this necessary relationship between biological traits and social stereotype. That is gender identity. It's a necessary connection between biological traits and social stereotype. And also surrogacy implies the same. Marie-Josèphe told about us now. They keep the traditional model of family based on genetic heritage and using eugenic means. So it's the traditional concept of family and even worse because it's eugenic means. Postmodern queer ideology is the cultural agenda of neoliberal capitalism, a capitalism that of bodies and souls. So it is globally installed by the market, the medical industry, big pharma, low corporation, insurance, and all that. These guys by philanthropy and human rights organization. So surrogacy, gender identity, and sexual work share lobby, sponsors, and this postmodern queer ideology. They are the same and uses the same. So there is neither mother nor woman in surrogacy because mother and woman are fictions, are constructions. So we can dismember them and use part, one part, another part. In surrogacy, we have just functions, organs, body parts, dismembered and dissociated from the subjectivity. This psychosomatic or mental dissociation is the rule of queer ideology because of that. So to try to say that mother or woman is a psychosomatic or personal unity is violence against gender identity. We are treated as discriminatory and stigmatizing of gender identities, which is a kind of mental and psychosomatic alienation. So then surrogacy, the strategy of surrogacy is on the one hand to neutralize people as if we were neutral discursive subjects, and on the other hand, dissociate the reproductive function or organs or parts from the personal unity in order to exploit it. As a result, woman became neutral person plus a function, a reproductive function, which is for the use of thirds. And this function is also sexually neutral. It's a function. No, it's a woman function. It's just neutral as well. And even worse, pregnancy is not even an autonomous function. It's an assisted technique. So this imposes on women a kind of psychotic model of alienation from our own bodies and, by extension, from any other body, including the kids, the body of the kids. This is a deeply dehumanizing project. And this industry is offshoring from Europe and coming into Latin America. Latin America is a very convenient place for surrogacy because of the low cost of an impoverished continent with exorbitant levels of corruption and illegality. Latin America is the most unequal continent in the world, and according to UN, is also the most dangerous continent for women because of violence. The levels of violence and poverty are on the rise because of COVID crisis. So inequality, corruption, structural poverty, and endemic violence make Latin America fit for reproductive extractivism, in which women are a natural resource for export to the rich north. Precisely during the pandemic, the pressure to regulate surrogacy has increased. There is a globally coordinated agenda for the whole continent. I'm gonna show the cases. The cases is the case of Mexico City. Mexico City is the paradise of reproductive tourism. You see the picture is, this picture comes from a couple of Spanish gay that they say, we are gonna be daddy, and the flight to Mexico. And the propaganda associates surrogacy with tourist destinations like Cancun or whatever. So you see the trip of these daddies. And now the lobby is trying to expand the model to the rest of the country, to Tabasco, for example, another city. They're trying to expand this reproductive tourism to another city. Guatemala is, surrogacy in Guatemala is neither legal nor prohibited, but the country is directly a supermarket of kids. Ecuador approved surrogacy in the new civil code. Colombia is revisiting the civil code in order to introducing surrogacy as well. Uruguay has already altruistic surrogacy, but now they submitted a new bill to regulate commercial surrogacy. Peru also has submitted a bill to regulate surrogacy 2 years ago, and Argentina has submitted many bills to regulate surrogacy, and now the legal secretary of the country is preparing a new bill to surrogacy. Actually, surrogacy in Argentina is neither legal nor prohibited, but the final decision is on the judge. So we have almost 50 cases of registration of kids born by surrogacy, and the last case is now in the Supreme Court. Here, this is an article on favor supporting surrogacy, but Argentinian article. But what I want to show you is this is the Ministry of Human Rights and Justice in Argentina. So it means that the proper Ministry of Human Rights is promoting surrogacy in Argentina. And in Argentina, the cost of surrogate is about $10,000, while in US is almost $100,000, or between $100,000 and $200,000. So it's very convenient to surrogate in Argentina. But the good news is that we are also taking international actions thanks to the international coalition, which preparing together with the Coalition Against Trafficking and Pro Equidad and Pibas por la Abolition, many big organizations, preparing a Latin American manifesto against surrogacy, what I wanna show you. This is our manifesto, Latinoamericano against surrogacy. We launched it last year, and I prepared a relaunching of the manifesto the coming weeks. The manifesto has already 1,500 signatories and more than 200 organizations and from 35 countries. So we are relaunching the manifesto this week, and we want to invite you to sign and support us with your sign. I will share the link to sign our manifesto, and the idea is to share and to lobby on international organization, agency, institution, and political parties this Latin American action. So that's all for my part, and thank for your attention. And if you like, sign our manifesto.